Hey everyone, the first round of the Shorty Shootout is in the books, and now it's time to make some cuts. So let's take a look what we got here. I have all the Shorty builds from the brackets set up here in the bag. And we're going to go through one by one and eliminate the losers and decide how we're going to move on to the next round of testing. First of all, let's take a look at the G410 Plus. I think this was the obvious winner of the entire first round. It was the easiest to hit, ridiculously stable. Basically, it was like cheating. So we can assume that this is going to be the big dog to beat. What we really need to do is eliminate enough other drivers in order to face the G410 Plus in the ultimate final round. So the G410 Plus, you're in. Now let's start making some cuts. Right off the bat, apologies to the Cobra Speed Zone with the counterbalance shaft, and it just could not compete. You're out of there. No chance. Next, the Epic Flash long drive head. This one, realistically, is not going to be able to go up against the Ping, but as we saw, it does have some potential as a specialty club. So it holds a special place in my heart, but for the purposes of our testing, it's out of here. Next up, Cobra King LTD Pro. Once again, Cobra just has bad luck with the builds here. I just hit this one like total crap. Everything felt bad. The numbers weren't very good. Didn't really stand a chance in this test. Adios. Next up, this one was the first one I really had to think about. The Rogue. It felt terrible, but that was probably just a consequence of the shaft it was in. The performance was pretty decent, but the confidence level wasn't really there. If anything, it's being eliminated purely on subjective categories. Sorry, Rogue. Maybe next time. And here we are with the winners. The Callaway Epic Flash surprisingly did awesome with ball speed and was also really easy to hit. The G410 LST, even though it technically lost to the G410 Plus, its overall rating was so good, it had to make the final over some of the others. And the TS4, this one was kind of a wild card. I didn't necessarily hit it great, but it did beat out the Cobra. So I actually made a few adjustments going into the final round. First off, I've changed the hosel setting so that it's actually now playing at 9.25 degrees. It was launching really low in the testing, so maybe this will give it a more fair chance against the other 9-degree heads. Next, I really enjoyed the feel of the Fujikura EXS shaft in the Epic Flash Sub-Zero, so I went ahead and picked up another one of those shafts and put it in the TS4 to give it a chance at placing in this final round of drivers. So these are the final 3 Shorty drivers that need to be eliminated before I place them up against the Ping G410 Plus. And whatever driver comes out amongst the winner of these 3 versus the Ping G410 Plus will be the driver going in my bag. As always, we're going to hit some warm-up shots here with a shorter club, and I will be showing every single shot I take throughout both the warm-up and the data collection. While I continue the warm-up, there will be a slight change in how we're grading the drivers against each other. I only have a limited number of swings before I get too tired or before I start getting sloppy, and the simulator shuts down after 30 minutes, so I will be trying to hit the minimum number of shots I need in order to get 5 or 6 good shots for the data to compare against each other, instead of doing the set 6 shots with each driver in 2 groups. Another note, the simulator was having a little bit of trouble with the tracking with any shot that had a ball speed over about 150 miles an hour. So there were a lot of shots that you'll see that were just not tracked at all. And it was pretty frustrating throughout the session. I put a lot of good swings on balls that just we didn't get to count towards the data, but eventually I hit enough shots with all of the clubs in order to get a decent representation. And starting off with the 410 LST, once again, just hitting enough shots in order to get a sufficient group of shots for the data, however many it takes. And I absolutely smoked that one, but it did not record. Pretty frustrating. Average of the shots here for the ping. As before, we're seeing really decent ball speeds of 151 and a very high launch angle of 14.2. And now to the TS4, which is a little bit of a dark horse in this competition. Easily the least forgiving of the drivers, but potentially some of the highest ball speeds. Much higher ball speed for the TS4 at 155, but a surprisingly low launch angle of under 10 degrees despite the additional loft. And now the Epic Flash Sub-Zero, which I expect to sit somewhere between the Ping and the TS4 for launch numbers and forgiveness levels. And as expected, 153 ball speed, 11.5 degrees of launch, right in the middle. I was pretty impressed about this driver. It felt very powerful. Then I decided to have a little fun with the drivers. I tried to hit one good shot at 100% swing speed with all 3 of them, just to get an idea of what the maximum potential was for each driver. So one swing with each of the 3. And of course I had simulator issues catching some higher ball speed shots, but pretty fun nonetheless. The Ping was able to get up to about 157 ball speed with about 15 degrees of launch. The TS4 ended up at 158 miles per hour ball speed with about 10.5 degrees of launch, so pretty decent numbers, pretty quick ball speed there. And the Epic Flash came in at the 159 ball speed mark with under 9 degrees of launch, so kind of switched places with the TS4, but it was very quick. The weather is shitty outside, so I'll make it brief. The Epic Flash won and is going to go up against the Ping G410 Plus in the final. The Epic Flash was just the perfect combination of high ball speeds with medium forgiveness and decent launch. It should give the Ping a good run for its money. I expect it to be more than competitive on ball speed and a total distance and forgiveness. It's going to be a pretty close battle. The Epic Flash did really well in both rounds of testing. And we might throw a cheeky little TS2 in the battle just to make it interesting.